All right, Libras, welcome to your yearly 2016 Sidereal Astrology forecast. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below. All right, Libra, so another transformative year, as you might guess, with the end of 2015 being transformative. We can expect a lot of those same energies to go into the rest of the year, especially the ones that we've been experiencing around November. In fact, I want to show you what I'm talking about here in the transit graph. Even as far back as August. In August, we had Jupiter squaring up to Saturn. That's continuing through the first half of the year. We've had Jupiter trining up to Pluto. That's going on through the first half. So with those two in particular, there has been that slow and steady approach to our expansion, but at the same time, it's been an excellent time to change, especially with Jupiter trining up to Pluto, to change our philosophy, our outlook, our worldview in general. And with Saturn, where there can be that hard work and discipline. Saturn has been squaring up to Neptune since November. So, we can expect that energy to continue pretty much all the way into the second eclipse season of September. And then we do have some new energies in January. But you can see here that a lot of the same energies are continuing. So let's see what areas of the chart this is involved for you, and kind of look at this one by one. Essentially what we have is right at the beginning of the year, we've got Jupiter conjoining up to the North Node. So here there's expansion, and I feel like there's going to be some optimism in terms of our life path, where we're headed, where we're growing. This is a big year of changes to our life path. And that's the conjunction. Now, what's essentially happening here is the North Node has been transiting your 12th house for about the past 2.5 years. So it's been a very long time of you pursuing your spirituality, you pursuing the things that are really meaningful to you in life, getting that rest and relaxation. But now, over the next 2 years, you're going to have the North Node shifting into your 11th, which is much more about community stuff, organizations, anything that you feel like is a goal, like a big picture ideal, a vision, and maybe working within groups just in general. And that's already been quite the expansive area for you because you've had Jupiter already there. So the North Node joins up with Jupiter. Jupiter goes retrograde, finishes that transit of your 11th, and then goes into your 12th mid-year. Okay, I think that's August, but we'll cover that when we get there. So the key here is right off the bat, there's optimism, there's possibilities, and it's all about whatever probably has been expanding for you in regards to the group or community stuff. Now, on some level, depending on your personal chart, it may not come across as optimistic, but the key is to look for where you're learning, because there's a tremendous amount you could be learning right now involving that 11th house. So while that's going into effect, the South Node joins up with Chiron. So this year is very much about healing old wounds, particularly wounds of the past, and releasing those energies to make way for these new, more expansive beginnings. So this is particularly, well, it has been particularly involving your routine, maybe your health, your diet, your work environment, things like that of the 6th house. And through that releasing that you've been doing over the past couple of years there, now there's healing taking place, especially this early part of the year involving that. So when we do have that willingness to heal, we do have that willingness to let go of old energies that are unhealthy, relating to habits, relating to work, relating to routine, and that creates a space for this more expansive energy. Now, the big element of all of this is that Saturn is going to be forming a petit square to both of these energies. All right. So, normally the North Node is very strong in the chart, and especially when we have the eclipse seasons, because we're going to have eclipses in both March and then again in September. So always transformative. But now that we have Jupiter joining the North Node, Chiron joining the South Node, and Saturn sandwiched right in between the two, very transformative time for growth, very transformative time for taking it seriously and working hard. This is in many ways a year of working hard, slow and steady towards these expansions while letting go of the past and healing anything old relating to the past. So big year with that. And like I said, Saturn is still squaring up to Neptune. So there could be doubt, there could be uncertainty. All right. And the place in which you can really give this hard work and, energy towards is your values. You've got Saturn in your 2nd house. This is the house of your values. It could also be the material values such as assets or finances. So if you've been feeling guided to take that seriously, save and take that more mature approach to that area of life, then that's an excellent way of working with this. And that, through that disciplined approach there, can be supporting the life path. But generally it is your values, so really examining right now and building your values in life, whatever they are, and taking that seriously with Saturn. So that's the major energy of the year, especially the first half of the year. Okay, and then mid-year we do have this kind of pivotal shifting point in which that Jupiter square up to Saturn finishes up, Jupiter trines up to Pluto. A lot of these same energies from earlier in the year sort of culminate. So if you have been growing, if you have been putting hard work into what's possible, okay, and at the same time making change, this could be the time when a lot of this culminates, all right, or at least shifts and goes into a new direction, especially with Pluto trining that north node, all right, and Jupiter is going to be over that north node at the same time. So very, very powerful around June. And the other thing too is Saturn squaring up to Neptune. That's going to be the second aspect at that time. So there are new insights about the importance of faith and trust when it comes to, for you, probably the material values of life. And I would say too, a big part of it is faith and trust with your self-expression, and continue to work hard on that and be patient with that, and know that everything involving your passions, your interests, creativity, children, if you have children in your life, romantic stuff is unfolding in divine timing. So that's the middle part of the year. And then after things sort of shift, then we come up to the eclipses. Now, one thing I want to say is that there's going to be two sets of eclipses. One's in March, okay, and then one's in that September time period. So the ones in March are the solar eclipse energy are essentially culminating what's happened previous year at the end of 2015, but also starting new beginnings that will culminate in September. So in March, essentially what we have is we have a solar eclipse that's going to be right on the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces. So that's essentially a new beginning now in regards to releasing and healing a lot of these things involving, again, the habits, the routine, your self-improvement stuff, but also your self-expression, okay, because that's been going through a lot of healing lately, all right? And I think a lot of healing can certainly take place this year in regards to your self-improvement as well. But that's going to be the new beginnings there. So treat essentially this whole March through September time period as an opportunity to heal, as an opportunity to release those old energies relating to specifically those areas of life. Now in March, things do culminate from 2015 in regards to the lunar eclipse in Virgo. So in regards to your spirituality, in regards to the importance of faith and trust and getting that alone time. So especially if you've been involved with anything in that 12th house, whether it's behind the scenes or spiritual over the past 2.5 years, but even more specifically the last 6 months since, as of March of 2016, it'll be a sort of awareness of that, a culmination and a point of apex where you can see it. So it could be a culmination if it's specifically something you're working on, but at the very least, you're seeing the importance of all of that spiritual energy. And it's been a very spiritual time for you Libras with all this eclipse energy and the North Node transiting your 12th house for so long. Okay, but things are definitely shifting into more of the community stuff and self-expression areas. So that's March, and then September, again, culmination of the healing energies. And then we do have a solar eclipse in Leo. So at that point in September, there's definitely new beginnings that you'll notice if you aren't already, but I'm certain you will be, involving the group stuff, organizational things, community, maybe friends, new networks, things like that. Jupiter, right before then, in August, is going to go into your 12th house. So while that's happening, there's a lot of expansion that you're probably going to notice involving spirituality, right? Maybe it becomes easier to have that alone time. Maybe there's more opportunities to do spiritual things, or maybe it's within those groups, who knows? So with those new beginnings around their collective group stuff or your visions or your ideals, there's also expansion, a lot you're learning about spirituality in general. Not like it has been with the North Node, which has been very transformative and much deeper, much more about releasing. This is much easier with Jupiter usually, but grounded, make it into something solid. So that's September. One thing I want to mention about September too is that the South Node is going to conjoin up with Neptune at that point. Right. So while there's a lot of direction for the group stuff, there's also releasing of that faith and trust I was talking about in regards to your interests, your creativity, your self-expression of that 5th house. And the more willing you are and open you are to releasing those unhealthy energies there, because that's the South Node. It usually tips the scale and shows us where there's unhealthy attachments, unhealthy energy. So when you're willing to, accept and allow any old energies to go there involving that 5th house, then, like I said, there's more space for these more, community-related things. All right, and it's all different for a lot of you. It could be networking for some of you. It could just be internet for some of you, technological. It could be your visions, your ideals, lots of that expanding. And at that point, too, in September, things clear up. Saturn lifts up off that square up to Neptune. So if there's been haze, if there's been doubt about what you're building, what you're establishing in life, specifically in the financial material stuff, or with that self-expression, it does become easier at that point onward. And that's a big shift at the end of this year. Once we get through all these eclipses, once we get over this Neptune conjoining the South Node in October, it's a lot of new energies, especially in December onward. All right, and 2017 is a brand new year starting around December. All right, and it's a lot of it's involving Uranus, which is about freedom and integrating that freedom. So what I'm getting a sense of is this year, use this as a disciplined time to go into your life path, to expand on that level, to see where you have intentions, where you want to put energy, but to work hard, to build good solid foundations for you. And then with those solid foundations, then there's more opportunity for freedom and for liberation and all of this more Uranus energy next year. Okay. So that's what I'm getting a sense of. It's certainly a year of hard work, patience with Saturn. He's going to be the big player with all of this. All right. And Pluto's very supportive too. So there's a lot of opportunities for change this year. All right. All right, Libra. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I hope you guys have a fantastic 2016. Thank you so much for all of your support, for liking, sharing, commenting, and do stay tuned for the monthlies and weeklies. All right. See you guys next time.